Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. My stepsister put saffron in my brown sugar water during the college entrance examination. I had such severe abdominal pain that I was carried out of the examination room. Menstrual blood stained half of the stool red. My father didn't take it seriously and said, "Your sister is just a child." My stepmother with a big belly sneered, "How could there be so much blood during a normal period? Maybe she's got some dirty disease." My grandma thought I was too costly. "You have to go to the hospital just for an exam? You're always getting sick and spending money. Why don't you just die?" I died from excessive blood loss. When I opened my eyes again, I went back to the time before my stepsister drugged me. I took away the brown sugar water and replaced it with the flower tea that my stepmother used for calming her nerves. That day, the sound of the ambulance downstairs rang throughout the night. In my previous life, I shouldn't have died so easily. Grandma was so stingy about money that she didn't allow me to stay in the hospital for observation. She forcibly pulled out my foredrip and dragged me, who was anemic, to walk 5 kilometers home. I've never heard that a woman could die from having her period and bleeding. Besides, your stepmother is going to give birth in 2 months. Don't we need to spend money on milk powder and diapers? Why don't you think about the adults? The doctor suggested prescribing some amoxicillin to prevent infection. Grandma flatly refused and said, "No need, we have it at home." Later, she took out her Vaspin for treating thrombosis and forced me to take it. Just a difference of 2 words, but it cost me my life. Grandma was afraid that I would go to see the doctor again, so she locked the door before leaving. Girls nowadays are just too delicate. Grandma locked me in but then forgot about me. The next day, my father's company organized a team-building activity, a 5-day tour in Sonia. He was the boss and could bring his family members except for me. The whole family went. The house was empty for 5 days. It was only after the neighbors smelled something bad and complained that my body was discovered. My family members didn't feel sad, didn't regret it, and didn't show any grief because my stepmother gave birth prematurely. The Sebastian family welcomed a big fat grandson joyfully. Grandma even thought that it was too unlucky to hold a funeral at this time. She handed over all the arrangements for my afterlife to an outsourcing team. From beginning to end, not a single relative attended. I couldn't figure it out. Why was I so cautious everywhere, tried so hard to please them, didn't compete with my stepsister for my father's affection, and didn't make things difficult for my father, yet ended up like this? Really, I was so unwilling. I really wanted to live again. When I opened my eyes again, I went back to the night before the college entrance examination. In this life, I don't want fatherly love, stepmother's love, or grandma's love at all. After the evening self-study, I was changing my shoes at the entrance. Scarlet, "Be careful with your belly." My stepmother, with a big belly, stuffed her shoes into the cabinet before I did. Sure enough, my father was at home. He gave me a fierce glare as if he wanted to kill me. "Scarlet, are you crippled or blind? She's my wife. Do you expect her to serve you?" My stepmother, Vivian, was my father's first love. Less than half a year after my mother died, he brought her home. He cherished her carefully and pampered her patiently. Even her daughter from her previous marriage was the apple of my father's eye. Seeing that I was just standing there without moving, my father roared at me, "What are you standing there for? Go and fetch some water." Washing the feet and massaging my pregnant stepmother was my job. Even though I was busy with my studies in Senior 3, I never missed a day. Firstly, I understood how hard my father worked to earn money. Secondly, I wanted to get along peacefully with my stepmother. Most importantly, my mother had told me before she died, "Scarlet, after I'm gone, if your father lets another woman into the house, remember, don't cry, don't make a fuss, and don't run away from home. Believe me, hold on until you're an adult and everything will be okay." She left me an inheritance that was enough to shake my father's position in the company. However, I could only inherit it when I became an adult. But I was killed before that day came. It was also my own fault for being too stupid in my previous life and being too involved in the act of a kind father and a filial daughter. Not anymore. Now my father was waiting for me to kneel down and wash his first love's feet, but I just leaned lazily against the wall. Is the husband in this family dead? Your wife's feet are swollen like pig trotters during pregnancy, yet you still want your daughter to massage them? Could it be that a man's contribution to having a baby is only that 1 second? As I said that, I even made a gesture of losing the South Korean market. My father was stunned for a while. He couldn't believe what he had just heard. Just as he was about to lose his temper, my stepmother held him back, with 2 teardrops hanging on the verge of falling. Husband, don't scare the child. Tomorrow is the college entrance examination. Scarlett dreams of going to Tsinghua University. My father sneered. If she can get into Tsinghua University, I'll change the name of this house to hers. My stepmother almost panicked when she heard the house, but she quickly calmed down. Oh, why are you arguing with the child? Besides, if Scarlett goes to Tsinghua University, she might settle down in Beijing. She won't need this house anyway. Where to settle down wasn't important. The key was that this bet couldn't be made because she knew that I would win. During the 3 years of high school, my stepmother always reported the bad news and never the good news. When I ranked in the top 3 in my grade, she didn't mention it, but when I made a mistake on an easy math question, she spread it everywhere. When I tore up the love letter from a hooligan, she didn't say anything. But when the hooligan blocked me at the school gate every day, she reported it. As a result, in my father's eyes, I was a rebellious girl with average grades and a chaotic love life. Unexpectedly, after hearing what I said, my father just waved his hand. All right then, well, buy one in Beijing. My ears perked up. Dad, I want a 5-bedroom apartment with a living room. My stepmother was shocked. Scarlett, you're still young. There's no need to buy such a big house, right? No, it isn't. I counted on my fingers. 1 room for Grandma, 1 for you and Dad, 1 for my sister, 1 for the baby brother in your belly, and 1 for me. It's just right, my stepmother said in a sarcastic tone. It's so kind of you to think of us old folks. In my opinion, a 6-bedroom apartment with a living room would be just right, with 1 room as your nursery. My father hugged her in his arms and coaxed her with a smile. Vivian, don't worry. The bet is about Tsinghua University, not Lon Vocational School. She'll never be able to pass the exam in her next life. I quickly took out the gambling contract and handed over a pen, afraid that my father would go back on his word. Dad, should I sign or put my fingerprint? Sign it. Then my stepmother was completely speechless. After taking a shower, I found that I had my period. It was 10 days later than usual, and happened to coincide with the college entrance examination. I only found out later that Oilia had added progesterone to my milk. This stepsister of mine, who was only 1 year younger than me, was just as vicious as her mother. This time I went downstairs 10 minutes earlier than in my previous life. Sure enough, through the door, I heard my stepmother and her plotting. That Scarlett has been pretending to be a White Lotus for 3 years, and we couldn't find a single flaw. Finally, she can't pretend anymore. Today she wants a house? Dream on. Fortunately, I've been prepared for a long time. There was the rustling sound of plastic bags coming from inside. Mom, the saffron you asked for has been ground into powder. Good, be careful when you put it in later. I always feel that this girl seems a bit different. Oilia laughed. How could that be? I put dust tablets in Scarlett's drink for half a month, and she didn't even notice. She was still annoyed that her period was delayed. My stepmother sneered. At first, I just wanted this little to fail the exam and go to an ordinary technical school. Now it seems that she won't be able to finish even 1 exam. I got to the kitchen before Oilia. I poured out the already boiled brown sugar water, and put another cup of something with a similar color in its place. It was the calming tea that my stepmother drank every day. I bet Oilia, that idiot, definitely wouldn't be able to tell the difference. In the early morning, the heart-wrenching cry of a woman came. Sebastian, husband, I'm in such pain in my belly. Help me. Save me. When I opened the door, I saw my stepmother writhing. The sofa was like a worm. There was a pool of red spreading under her. My father held her hand and kept comforting her. Vivian, don't be afraid. The ambulance will be here soon. Our baby will definitely be born healthy. I couldn't help but sneer. Damn man, it's so obvious whether he loves her or not. On the day my mother died, my father said he had something to do with the company and refused to come. It was my grandfather who took a kitchen knife and forced him to come from the company. Seeing that my stepmother was losing her strength from crying, Grandma pulled my father aside. Save the baby, She had been dreaming of having a grandson for decades. The B ultrasound had already confirmed that it was a boy. Mom, why are you saying this now? Sebastian, think about it carefully. You're 46 this year and Vivian is 40. In the future, you won't have a problem, but will she still be able to give birth? Grandma had said such things countless times in front of my mother. My father had always turned a deaf ear to them, but once it was about Vivian, he couldn't bear to hear a word of it. Mom, even if Vivian doesn't have a child, I'll only love her. You love grandsons so much. You can go and adopt one yourself. I'll pay for it. Grandma cursed and backed away to one side. I deliberately put on a worried look. Auntie has lost a lot of blood. Will there be postpartum infection? The doctor said amoxicillin seems to be able to reduce inflammation. I have something with a something ly. Grandma turned around and took out 2 pills and stuffed them into my stepmother's mouth. Mom, you can't take medicine randomly. My father didn't stop her nonsense. I take it every day and nothing's wrong. It's only your woman that's precious. The ambulance arrived downstairs. When the doctor saw the amount of bleeding, he was shocked. I asked, the pregnant woman's platelet count is normal? What's going on? Even the blood from the needle hole when giving for the drip can hardly be stopped. My father had memorized every examination parameter of his first love. Normal, everything is normal. The doctor asked again. What about the food? Mom didn't have dinner tonight. She only drank the calming tea. Oilia answered quickly. I knew my chance had come. Sister, didn't you put something in Anne's tea? There was still some red powder left in the cracks of Oilia's fingernails. In an instant my stepmother's pupils shrank. She guessed it, but she could only resign herself to bad luck. My father stared at Oilia deadly. Oilia, what did you add? Speak. Oilia's body was shaking like a sieve. I don't know, Dad. I didn't mean it. The doctor repeated again. Family members must tell the truth. Otherwise, if something goes wrong. My father slapped Oilia across the face. Still not talking. It's Saffron. The doctor was shocked. You're trying to kill the pregnant woman. My father was about to hit her again. I took a step back and started to stop the fight. Sister is still a child, Dad. Remember in my last life, this was how you comforted me. My father raised his hand and slapped her again. 16 years old. Is no child. Oilia's face was swollen. It's not my fault. Woo-woo. Grandma also gave her medicine. When Grandma heard this, she immediately took out a blister pack of medicine. Don't talk nonsense. Mine is for reducing inflammation. The doctor was stunned. This is for anticoagulation. My father was so angry that he almost wanted to kill his mother. For the first time he shouted without caring about his image. Mom, how many times have I told you? You can't take medicine randomly. You're old. It doesn't matter if you die. But the one in your belly is your grandson. It's kind of funny to say this. I've been hospitalized for taking the wrong medicine no less than 10 times. In the most serious case, I even had anaphylactic shock, but he didn't say a word to Grandma about it. I'll sacrifice my life for him. Can I sacrifice my old bones for him? Grandma knelt on the ground and cried. Oilia was also sobbing. My stepmother was in so much pain that she lost her voice, and my dad was so worried that his back was all sweaty. Only me, I was the only one in the family who remained completely unaffected. It turns out that a slap really only hurts when it's slapped on the face of someone you care about. Except for me, the whole family went to the hospital and didn't come back all night. I had a good and sound sleep. The next day, I went to the examination room on time without that woman causing trouble. I felt relaxed both physically and mentally. When I was writing the composition with my mind emptied, I could even hear background music in my head. My grades had always been among the top 3 in the grade. After living this life again, not much time had passed, and I hadn't missed any knowledge points at all. I answered the questions with great ease. At 8 o'clock in the evening, my dad called me for the first time ever. He said both the mother and the child are safe. However, they wouldn't come back for the time being because the baby weighed only 2 kilograms and was premature. He had to be put in an incubator and was receiving blue light treatment. At that time, lying inside, he was soft and pink just like a little kitten. Through the receiver, I could feel the excitement in the man's voice when he was talking. Grandma asked him beside, "Have you chosen a name yet?" My dad said he had. It's Leo. The Lou and Dawn Vivian, and I chose it 20 years ago. I smiled and hung up. I remembered when I was a kid. I asked my dad what the Lou in my name meant. He was busy with a meeting and impatiently pushed me away. What else could it mean? It means replacing the crown prince with a civet cat. So that's how it was. Unfortunately, Dad thought his crown prince had arrived, but he didn't know that this was also a civet cat. Mom told me before she died, "Your dad is no good." My dad started out in the real estate business. Once, when he went to inspect a construction site, a steel plate pressed on his thigh and he passed out. The doctor said that his reproductive system was injured. He needed an operation to either remove the vas or repair the vas deferens. The latter would take more time, but the success rate was quite high. Mom didn't hesitate for a second, remove it. The operation was done without telling Dad. At that time, Mom was already in the advanced stage of stomach cancer. She knew that Dad had never forgotten his first love, so before she left, she did two things for me. First, she made sure that I was Sebastian's only child. Second, she transferred all the real estate properties and funds that belonged to her to me. She left a business card. "Scarlett, when you become an adult, go to a lawyer. My birthday is in August. It's only 2 months away." Soon the college entrance examination was over, and I couldn't find an excuse not to go to the hospital anymore. As soon as I arrived at the door of the delivery room, I heard my stepmother acting coquettishly with my dad. "Honey, I've already given birth to our son. Why are my feet still swollen? Then let Mom massage them for you." How could Mom do such a meticulous job? But Scarlett's massage skills were really comfortable. Unfortunately, she was the busiest at this time. What's there to be busy with now that the exams are over? Dad took out his cell phone. "I'll tell her to come here right away and massage you." Goodness, he wanted me to come and take care of her during the postpartum period. The next second, the incoming call display lit up. "Got it, Dad." I hung up the phone. "Fine, let you see how good I am at this." When I rushed to the hospital with big and small bags in a hurry, my dad was even a bit shocked. "Didn't I tell you to come immediately? Why are you?" He paused and looked behind me. A large group of people were following me, and some were even carrying video cameras. "Why did you bring so many cameramen?" I ignored him. In front of the camera, I put down 2 bags of Huggies diapers, 2 cans of milk powder, a postpartum belly belt, and a stainless steel wash basin one by one. "Did you record it, Brother Wong? I can do a profile shot too." "Record it. Let's take a shot of your back view too." "No problem. Society is like a huge laying hand. That's a fighter among hens." Oh yeah, after 3 clicks, Dad finally couldn't bear it anymore and pulled me aside. "Scarlett, what on earth are you doing?" "Oh Dad, we're standing too far away. The sound can't be picked up." The next second, I raised my voice by 30 dB in a broadcasting tone. "Dad, I've come to take care of my stepmother during the postpartum period. Leave it to me, don't worry." The rich mezzo-soprano voice rang out in the ward. After that, I explained in a low voice, "Dad, our teacher asked us to make vlogs after the college entrance examination and play them at the teacher appreciation banquet. I was filming it, and then you called and asked me to take care of the postpartum period. I thought it was okay. I might as well film it all together to enrich the materials." Dad's face turned red and then pale. If the daughter takes care of the stepmother during the postpartum period gets out, where would he put his old face? Going to be played at the teacher appreciation banquet? I couldn't even imagine it. Dad raised his hand to shoo people away. "I don't need you to take them, just leave quickly." I looked disappointed. Is it that I don't need to take care of it today, or that I won't need to take care of it in the future? It's very meaningful material. How about I make an appointment when I'm free someday? By the way, Dad, I've even bought books and learned 35 postpartum massage techniques. I lied. In fact, what I read was postpartum care for SS. Dad was already tired of hearing it. "How noisy. Get out." The door of the ward was mercilessly closed in front of me. I thought he would never let me massage my stepmother in his lifetime. Since I wouldn't do it, this task fell on Oilia's shoulders. Dad asked and she couldn't refuse. After all, I had been doing it for most of my senior year in high school. She was only in her sophomore year. Could she be busier than me? Besides, Vivian was her biological mother. Every time I saw Oilia's red wrists, I couldn't help but add fuel to the fire. Wow, your hands are so red, sister. Dad and the others will be heartbroken when they see them, right? I'm different. They won't even let me touch them. You're so amazing. I'm so envious of people with real massage skills. Unlike me, I just ate and drank after the college entrance examination. As expected, after Oilia entered the room, she smashed half of the things on the wall. Damn it. Am I a nanny? Didn't this kind of dirty work used to be Scarlett's? Why should it be thrown to me? Do you know that I had my final exams today, and my hands were shaking? My stepmother didn't know it's much easier for a mother and daughter to be estranged than for a father and daughter. It took her 3 years to make Dad dislike me, but it only took me 3 days to drive Oilia crazy. On the day when my stepmother and younger brother were discharged from the hospital, Grandma was sent back to the countryside. I got 722 points in the college entrance examination, ranking first in the city, while Oilia only got 501 points in the final exam of the semester, dropping 200 places. My stepmother couldn't save face and scolded her a few words in front of relatives and friends. She said that she wasn't cut out for studying, that she didn't know how to work harder as a slow learner, especially with such an excellent sister like me in front. She didn't even know to ask for advice. Oilia's eyes turned red. She even looked grieved. Auntie, you've wronged my sister. I suddenly spoke up for her. Oilia only got 72 points in Chinese because she didn't finish writing the composition halfway through the exam. Her hand cramped. Subtext, it was because of massaging you. As soon as these words came out, Oilia's eyes seemed to turn even redder. Her grievances were silent at first, but comfort and understanding can make it burst into tears. I continued. Since your younger brother was born, have you ever spared even a little bit of your attention for your sister? She massaged until her wrists were the swelling faster at that time. Were you thinking of the daughter who was trying hard to please you or the pink and chubby son in the swaddling clothes? These words really hit Oilia's sore spot. She actually burst out crying in front of a group of adults. All the people who were playing with the little son rushed to comfort the older one. The reputation of my stepmother being partial to sons over daughters spread over time. Oilia also believed it. After that day, Oilia gradually stood on the same side as me. I gave her tassel earrings, tassel headbands, and tassel necklaces. Kids like shiny and jingling things the most. Sure enough, when she was taking care of her younger brother, she was always pulled in. Until I saw long hair in the little chubby hand. Have you been losing your hair recently? I asked in astonishment. She fiddled with her hair in front of the mirror for a long time. Oh my God, it's true. Oilia loved beauty so much. How could she allow herself to be pulled bald? In a fit of anger, she started pulling her brother's hair back. My stepmother was extremely distressed. She said that famous line that fired the first shot in the war between the sister and brother. You are the older sister. What's wrong with giving in to your younger brother? This one sentence ignited all the past emotions. Oilia directly picked up the child and rushed to the balcony. Is only your son precious? If you had the ability, you shouldn't have given birth to me. Give in, give in. Let's see who gives in to whom on the way to the underworld. If we jump down, no, mom's wrong. Oilia, don't be impulsive. My stepmother's legs were trembling. Oilia lost the chance to be alone with her younger brother and became even closer to me. Are you going to Tsinghua University? She asked me. Yes, what's the matter? My mom asked me to find a way to steal your admission ticket and password and change your application preferences when the time comes. It's a really despicable means. Just as I expected, I smiled. Then why did you come here specifically to tell me? My mom plans to use the money that was supposed to buy you a house to set up an education fund for her son, Oilia said as she tied her ponytail with the tassel hairband I gave her. I thought about it all night. It's better to give it to you than to him. As she moved the hem of her clothes, it lifted up, revealing a bruise. It looked like it was pinched. I showed a concerned look. Auntie hit you? It's okay. If she hits me, I'll hit her son. This girl is really crazy. The family held a full moon banquet. It was very fancy. Besides relatives and friends, there were also business partners of Dad's at the banquet. They were from all walks of life. Oilia said that her mom calculated that the current working capital at home was 8 million yuan. If an education fund was set up, then my house would be gone. After Dad finished entertaining 2 clients, He was dragged away by my stepmother. When he saw me, the corners of his eyes lifted up smugly. My stepmother planned to imitate others and do a one-year-old catch ceremony. There were gold bars, gold abacuses, and gold medals on the table. There was also a gold engraved certificate with education fund engraved on it. I'm impressed. She's really calculating. I could even hear it from my house in Beijing. Honey, look at this education fund. At this time, quite a few cars stopped at the entrance of the hotel. Someone came in with a microphone, looked around, and asked, "Excuse me, is this the banquet celebrating Scarlett, the top scorer in the college entrance examination entering Tsinghua University?" Dad was embarrassed for a while. He hadn't planned to hold any banquet for me to celebrate entering university at all. Facing the reporters, he had to smile and reply, "Scarlett's banquet to celebrate entering university will be held 1 week after receiving the admission notice." My stepmother looked unhappy. The reporter asked again, "Then where does Scarlett plan to fill in her application preferences?" I was just about to answer when a teacher stuffed a business card into my hand. "Student, come to Ping University. Tuition will be waived, and you'll get a scholarship of 50,000 yuan every year." Another teacher didn't want to fall behind either. "Student Scarlett, Tsinghua University welcomes you. If Ping University offers this, we at Tsinghua University will double it." More and more people gathered around. President Sebastian has really good genes. Once I tell others about this, I'll be someone who has done business with the father of the top scorer. He's hidden a top scorer at home. Sebastian has kept it a well-guarded secret. My father's face was beaming with pride when being praised. Nobody cared about what the little kid grabbed during the one-year-old catch game. The camera was focused on my face. I shrugged my shoulders. "Sorry, teachers from Peking University. I'm going to bow down for a 5-bedroom apartment." I took out the bed agreement with my father. The words on it were clearly written. If Scarlett successfully gets admitted to Tsinghua University, her father, Sebastian, will buy a 5-bedroom apartment for her in full payment in Beijing. With so many people as witnesses, my father couldn't deny it and could only keep agreeing. He couldn't wait to sign the house purchase contract on the spot, to show his integrity as a businessman. Suddenly, a scream came from the crowd. "Ah! Sebastian's wife has fainted." My stepmother fell seriously ill during that period. She still tried to negotiate with my father. "Scarlett is still young. It won't be too late to buy the house when she gets married. It can just be used as a wedding room." I shook my head. "Auntie, it takes 1 year to decorate and 3 years for ventilation. I'll graduate and get the marriage certificate. Buying it now is just right. What house needs 3 years of ventilation?" My father got annoyed when the topic of the house was brought up too often. "Vivian, it's just a house. I've already made the promise. If I don't buy it, where? I will put my face in it." It was the first time that I saw my father being fierce to his first love. "What about me and my son?" My stepmother started to cry. "What do you mean by you and your son? Have I left you homeless or made you suffer from hunger or cold? But the money you're spending is the joint property of the couple." My father was silent for a while and then got up and left. But are we really a couple? This was a thorn in my father's heart. Actually, he hadn't gotten the marriage certificate with his first love yet. My stepmother's ex-husband committed a crime and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The other party was a rascal and refused to divorce no matter what. Up to now, they were still nominally husband and wife. Strictly speaking, my father was still the third party who destroyed someone else's marriage. Oilia has a tendency to abuse others. She would take advantage of people's inattention to grip her younger brother's neck tightly, watching his face turn from white to red and then to purple. She would use her fingernails to pinch words on the tender skin that seemed to be bleeding. She would use needles to prick the unused cranial sutures. I had known about it for a long time because I had also been a victim once. Finally, my stepmother discovered the little kid's injuries. These days, she had been secretly inquiring about things related to the second child training camp. I let her see the information, both in paper form and electronic form. Some parents said that since they sent the children who resisted the second child to be reformed, their homes had become much quieter. In a few months or a few years, when the children came back, they were as obedient as if they were different people. They would take the initiative to wash clothes, cook meals, and even act as mounts for their younger brothers and sisters. They wouldn't compete or fight and were willing to be good examples. My stepmother was gradually falling into the trap. I knew that she was tempted. Little did she know that these people were just like Yong and his ilk, who had escaped legal sanctions. Back then, they used electric shocks, corporal punishment, and torture to make children submit to the second child voluntarily. It was not unjust at all for Oilia to be sent there. 2 days later, my father went on a business trip to another city. There was a heavy rainstorm at night. I saw in my room that Oilia was dragged into a car by several big men in black. Her screams penetrated through the window. My methods are disgusting, are they? As disgusting as yours and that Mr. Wong's? In fact, after the college entrance examination, I had been investigating whose son was Leo. Since my stepmother came to our home, she had been very virtuous and seldom went out alone with other men. Instead, my father often sent the driver to pick her up for dates. Until one day, I went downstairs to drink water and saw my father looking for hangover medicine. "Dad, did you go for a candlelight dinner again today?" "What candlelight dinner?" "At dinner he swallowed the medicine. Since your aunt got pregnant, we haven't gone out alone anymore." In an instant I understood. In my memory, my father's car appeared downstairs no less than 5 times a month. Each time he went out, it would last for 2 hours. It turned out that my stepmother had an affair with the driver. After sorting out the clues, I couldn't help sighing. How brave Uncle Wong was, driving my father's car, earning my father's money, sleeping with my father's woman, and having a baby with my father. This is what the ancients meant by being unaware of the obvious danger right under one's nose. With the target person identified, it was just a matter of time to obtain evidence. I easily got Uncle Wong's hair and also successfully installed a camera in the car. If I exposed it, my father's mood would surely be very bad. I should quickly urge him to buy the house in Beijing. At dinner, I took out the admission notice from Tsinghua University. Before I could say anything, my father took the initiative to mention this matter. "I've looked at the house you chose. It's not far from Tsinghua University, and it's already finally decorated. You can move in with just your luggage." He put the bank card on the table and pushed it towards me. "Sign the contract as soon as possible. Once you buy it, don't waste it. You can also live there often when you're in college." My stepmother was so angry that she pinched the baby in her arms. "Wow, all you know is to cry. Nothing in this family belongs to you." My father was also angry and snatched the child away. "Vivian, why are you acting like a shrew now? Should I act like your deceased wife, working hard for half of her life and getting nothing in the end?" My stepmother looked at me and smiled sinisterly. "Scarlett, you don't know, do you? The day before your mother died, we were still sleeping together. I said that I hated the 6 male, so your father didn't even want to visit your mother before she died. What a pitiful woman. In fact, my mother wasn't pitiful at all. She knew everything. She didn't care. She even looked forward to death because her first love was waiting for her there. And my father was just a substitute. I wasn't intimidated at all. I walked straight to my stepmother, grabbed her hair and forced her to look at me. "What about you? Besides my father, who else have you slept with?" My stepmother was stunned for a while. She pushed me away, cursed, "Crazy," and turned around to leave, leaving my father alone drinking gloomy wine. When I went downstairs again, he had already started to talk nonsense. "Scarlett, do you think Dad was wrong? Your mother was such a nice person. Why didn't I cherish her? Why did I have to look for my first love? So what if I found her? I really suspect that Vivian is with me just for my money." I shook my head. "No, Dad, and your driver, Uncle Wong." After that day, my father and his first love somehow started a cold war. Great. I could have a quiet birthday. I bought a cake for myself and ate the cake in front of my mother. R's tombstone and reported to her. It's so funny, Dad still doesn't know that he's been cuckolded. He's happy every day that he had a son in his old age. By the way, Mom, do you know whose son that child is? Uncle Wong, Dad's driver. I've got the report, Court. Mom, when do you think it's better to make it public? And Grandma, who used to blame you every day for not giving birth to a grandson, now she's been driven back to her hometown by the one who gave birth to a grandson. Oilia, I don't think you've met her. Well, it doesn't matter. Finally, I sighed. I'm an adult now. Mom, after eating the cake, I'm going to open your gift. Lawyer, he was my mother's college classmate. After chatting with him for half an hour, I was still a bit confused. Wait, uncle, are you saying that my mother left me 80 million yuan? After confirming it 3 times, I still couldn't believe it. 80 million yuan? It was a huge amount of money for me. Yes, your mother applied for the liquidation of the couple's property during her lifetime. She had a total of 5 million yuan in liquid funds, 2 houses and 40% of the company's shares under her name. The houses had been transferred to your name immediately, and the shares were held by your father on your behalf until you became an adult. As for the liquid funds, I have to say that your mother really had a good eye for investment. She entrusted the fund manager to hold the shares on her behalf. Now the market value has increased by no less than 10 times. Excluding the commission, there's about 80 million yuan. I wiped the drool of being rich. The key point was that the house where my father and his first love lived, the name on the property certificate was actually mine. Amazing. Mom, I finally understood what you meant by holding on until becoming an adult. It meant that I could pack their luggage at any time now and kick them out of my home. I asked lawyer he to help me transfer and sell the company's shares at a low price. Mom had said that the real estate industry had been on the decline for a long time. However, my father refused to transform the business no matter what. The reason was there was a string of numbers 0829 in the enterprise code, which was the birthday of his first love. Coincidentally, the day after tomorrow was her birthday. There were still 2 days left, but I should prepare a big birthday gift carefully. My stepmother probably also wanted to make a big fortune on her birthday. As soon as it was night, she couldn't wait to coax my father into her gentle embrace. She hooked her leg under the dining table and accidentally flirted with me by mistake. I picked up a piece of durian peel expressionlessly and put it under my foot. She really stepped on it. Facts proved that I shouldn't have any illusions about my father. After just one night of whispering in his ear, he gave away half of his wealth. My father not only promised to buy her bags and jewelry, he also promised to buy a school district house for her son after the year-end dividend. Birthday. Banquet of his first love. In the evening before going there, I bought a small toy. As soon as I arrived at the entrance of the banquet hall, I saw my stepmother holding my father's arm to greet the guests, and Uncle Wong, the driver, was helping behind them. Scarlett is here. My stepmother was in a good mood today and greeted me enthusiastically. Is the thing in your hand a gift for me? Yes, it looked interesting, so I bought it for Vivian. I opened it in front of her. It was a face recognition clock-in machine. I demonstrated it by putting my face in front of it. The recognition was successful, and the machine's voice announced, "Beep, the card of the most beautiful girl in the universe." How interesting. My stepmother always supported me. I'll give it a try too. Beep, the card of the one with a longer life than legs. Uncle Wong laughed. His face just happened to be in the recognition frame. Beep, Uncle Wong's card. Oh, it's so intelligent. It even knows that I'm surnamed Wong. Other guests passing by came to join in the fun. They toasted my father. President Sebastian, are you changing to the technology business? My father put his arm around his first love to socialize. President, you're joking. It's just a toy for kids, just for fun. Then let us have a look too. Okay, my father took it from my stepmother's hand and looked down at it. Suddenly, a very abrupt mechanical voice rang out. Beep, Cuckold's card. The whole place froze. Uncle Wong came to smooth things over. Beep, Uncle Wong's card. My father's face was full of mixed emotions. In the panic, I saw my stepmother and Uncle Wong glance at each other and quickly look away, guilty. Later, someone came out to smooth things over, and the little incident passed. The master of ceremonies was hosting on the stage. My stepmother went on the stage and recited a speech of 3,000 words. She didn't hide her love for my father at all. She even planned for the next life. My father looked like a young and inexperienced lad in the audience, his old face blushing red. Finally, my stepmother said, I've been in love with Sebastian for 21 years. We wasted 15 years separately in between, but fortunately, fate brought us back together again. For this reason, I specially made a video to witness all of this. The big screen lit up, and the commotion in the venue began. From then on, the video picture was narrow. It was obvious that it was taken from the passenger seat of an Audi. My stepmother's face was facing the camera, flushed. The man only showed the back of his head with a bald patch on the top. The people in the audience started to feel sick even before they opened their seats. My stepmother was in a flurry to turn it off, but she only managed to turn off the display. The sound was still going on. When will her son be able to call me daddy? Call you daddy? Can you afford to raise him? The staff came out and turned off the video. My father didn't say a word when he got up. He staggered a little. Uncle Wong, the driver, knelt down on the spot. President Sebastian, I'm sorry. It was this woman who seduced me. I can't afford to lose this job. You sponsored my daughter's tuition fees. Please, my stepmother also knelt down. Husband, you said it when you were young. She held on to my father's trouser leg and wouldn't let go. If I stayed even an inch, you would move the wall an inch. If I strayed a foot, you would move a yard. How could you forget that? The more my father listened, the angrier he got. Those words from the time when he was a lovesick fool were just something to listen to casually. How dare she actually act so recklessly? Get out of my way. My father kicked the two of them away. The jade bracelet on Vivian's wrist hit the ground and broke into 3 pieces. My father looked at it and actually started to cry. This was an ancestral treasure of the Sebastian family. During the 15 years that my mother was married to him, he hadn't been willing to take it out. Grandma even said that my mother didn't deserve it because she couldn't give birth to a son. Now it's the same situation. There's no grandson and even the bracelet is gone. I casually took a photo and sent it to Grandma. Grandma, it seems that your Sebastian family can't carry on the legacy anymore. What I didn't expect was just a few days after the birthday banquet, my father actually made up with his first love. It was really like a sharp knife cutting your butt, an eye-opener. I silently prayed to God to lock this crazy couple together tightly and never let them get into the market to harm other middle-aged and elderly people. In the afternoon, I directly called a moving company and a locksmith. In front of Vivian, I packed up their things and threw them out. Scarlett, she shouted loudly behind me. Your father isn't even willing to drive me away. Who do you think you are, throwing my things out? I took out the property ownership certificate with my name on it. Vivian, not to mention throwing out your things, even if it's throwing you out, Scarlett won't even bat an eyelid. She was driven crazy by me. She just lay flat on the ground like a big character. Anyway, I won't go out until your father comes. I called out to the moving guy. You said it's 80 yuan for big items and 40 yuan for small items. I pointed at the ground. So, is this a big item or a small item? Realizing that I was swearing at her, she yelled. Your whole family are. I recorded the sentence and I called the police. By the way, with conclusive evidence, the police asked Vivian to apologize to me and compensate me 500 yuan for mental damages. So it's better not to use dirty words when scolding people. After being driven out of the house, my father rented a small apartment near the company. His forgiving attitude made him a joke in the industry. His business and clients were seriously lost, and the quality of life also dropped sharply. A few days later, the video of the birthday banquet finally reached our hometown. Someone took it to show my grandma. When she saw the 2 lumps of white flesh intertwine, she had a stroke on the spot and was sent to the hospital. The doctor said that no amount of aspirin could dissolve her century-old blood clots. My father didn't have time to visit her. There were problems with his company because I sold 40% of the shares at a low price to his competitor. He was so worried that he worked overtime until midnight every day. It's only a matter of time before the company goes bankrupt, and I definitely wouldn't go to visit her either. After all, Tsinghua University was about to start. I had to find time to tidy up my 5-bedroom apartment with a living room. I also had to write a notice and post it on the school forum. Exquisitely decorated apartment for rent at a low price. Only good-looking boys and girls from Tsinghua University are eligible to rent. By the way, I heard that Vivian couldn't afford the fee for the second child training camp next month, so Alia is going to come out.